Okay,
When you
so
say 7 differences, do you mean 7 differences in that entire section that we did, or just in the
yes,
conversation with the Seamus?
in
Oh,
that
okay, okay.
entire in the entire
See,
uh,
that's why my brain was like thinking that conversation. I was like, oh wait, maybe he meant the whole
yes, yes. So, so the the stonecutters stay with you for uh, stay with you for 3 days,
thing.
during which time the first day is spent sampling the wares. Then the second day is completely dry, and it's kind of like a spa day for everyone. You go down to the pool and go swimming and hit the saunas and stuff like that. Um, uh, and then the third day is spent sampling the other kinds of wares, which are the the compounds that are grown underground and dried and smoked. Um, and that of course is something that Solaire does not have at all, but and is actually kind of like a it's kind of like a it's kind of like a trade spice. It's called they're called uh, uh, they're called mushroom leaves. And Tegu is one of the prime sources of it. So it's one of their primary exports. I should probably put that on the atlas. Um, nope, that's the character orders. Tegu exports so that's one of their primary exports. They leave on the fourth day, having exchanged trade goods. Uh, the the stonecutters have also spent the second day meeting with other merchants around Solaire that they usually do business with. They also only sold you about a tenth of what they're carrying with them in their caravan, because they're going to visit several other cities as well. Um, so you're the you're I think the third stop on their trading caravan, that encircles the entire local area. Um, Let me share this window.
Can you hear my computer being an old man?
Uh, so here is Solaire, here is Tegu. So they travel overland, um, passing a passing there's a a city over here of 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 high elves over here, right here on the coast. Then they come over here and they stop at Falsiflam, which is which is the dwarven city immediately to your north. Then they come to Solaire, and then they proceed on across they proceed on across the uh, the salt lands over to over over pat over across this whole mountain chain here. They make a ford over here in the through the over here through the bridge of salt. Um,
Can we say my nerdy self found a map of this and like put it up in the girls' room and like we figured it out together with like little markers and stuff like, here's where they started and now they're in here.
nice.
And this is where our friends are going next.
Yes. Um, so so yeah, and the dwarvish kids. There's turns out to be one boy and one girl, and and they uh, and they do this route with their parents every year. This is how they spend their winter break is traveling. They enjoy it because they get to see a lot of different places, and because they don't really get they don't get the whole winter experience, which everything's blanketed now is blanketed in white and apparently is not where they live. Um, so So they enjoy this. Um, the caravan is going to swing around to the south, visit several cities around through here, and then cross the great uh, the great dam uh, the great dam here and end up back at end up back at their home. The whole journey uh, takes about 2 months, um, and they do it by powered sled.
Cool.
They say they really want to show you their powered sled, but Dad said but but Miller said that we shouldn't show anyone anything about the sleds. But
Well,
bye.
maybe next year when you come, we can make one out of snow.
I look forward to it. Bye. And they the powered sled trundles off. It's completely slab sided. It's like it has some sort of armoring around the outside that also makes you unable to see in and see what's around on the inside of it. But the dwarves seem to walk right through the edge of it. So uh, so you about a year passes. Um, the Stonecutter family has come and visited again, and then it comes back around to spring, uh, and it comes to around to the annual festival of life.
And just, I remember I'm almost possessed during a festival. Is this the same festival?
Uh, this is no, that was a harvest festival.
Okay, okay, just making
Yeah, that was
sure.
yeah that was a that was a harvest festival the at which the purge took Solaire in your reality. This, however, is the festival of life, uh, one one during which the well at the the well to the plane of growth overflows once a year.
And is this something that happened in my life?
Yes, actually, um, although they didn't celebrate it with the festival the way they do here. There, that was during that time that they would cure the sick. It was during this annual overflow event, and and all of the overflow was carefully bottled and and preserved and kept uh, to pour over barren fields and to heal the sick. And they were and common they were common use heal potions as well.
I'd imagine Green's into this.
Yes. Well, Green is Green is he's a little bit worried about it at first, um, because Green is not sure that Green should touch this.
Mm,
Green is not sure it's allowed.
interesting. Oh yeah, that's right.
But it but it but it but the it's a time of pilgrimage, and druids from all over the world and some from beyond the world arrive. Um, it's a huge festival. It's the it celebrates the time when all the flowers around the entire mountain open up all at once. Um, all different breeds of flowers. Um, it's it's just part of the magic of the area. There just happens to be an annual mana surge that the plane of growth pushes up, and the well just kind of like overflows with the plane of growth. It kind of like pushes in to the into the local plane, and it just causes every flower to grow, every person to be healed. Uh, it their the the effects of aging are reversed on people. Um, the longer they stay in the aura of it, the more they de-age. Although it happens very slowly. It's like you lose, like if you stay in there the whole festival, you would you would have a year effectively taken off your age without without so it yes so but you have to be there the whole time. What, what was I about to say? The Yes, so green is actually ends up the first year that you're there with it. um it accidentally had it's not sure what's going on, but it's kind of like, ooh, shiny, oh, that looks so cool, what's going on. I'm so attract like, moth to a flame, of course, even though it's not sure it's allowed. And it like reaches out and engulfs it, during which other things happen. I won't divulge that to you right
Yeah,
now
I'm resisting the urge to like start a scene
because
where I'm talking to him.
this is for
Here.
him. Uh,
Yes.
this is for Sean to do. And but here it is a year after that event. Um, and this time Green knows not to stand next to the well. Or Green chooses not to stand next to the well. It overflows, and the energy overflows, and there's a great dancing, and also there are all sorts of high ranking important druids who are all dancing and whooping in a circle. So you have all of it's basically like, everyone's dancing it, including the congressman, and the right next to the leader, the secretary general of the UN, right next to Prince William, that sort of thing. um, royalty rubbing shoulders with commoners, as well as popes dancing next to their parishioners. um, so everyone's having a great time. uh, and the moment, and during the during the entire begin dance that builds up to it, it seems like there's this bubble that comes up out of the top of the well, and just almost pushes its way up and around, and you can see that the cupola over the top of, I need to share that the cupola. Okay, this is very much a work in progress. I feel kind of bad showing this because the quality is so poor. Uh,
We love you
but
anyway.
it's the beginning. It's the beginning of the sketch. Um, so this is kind of like what what
It's
Solaire's going to
nice
look
to
like.
wear.
So
Hey-ho.
you have the giant tree, which is on the a peak right next to the temple, and it's four lobed. This is actually going to be, much more wide open, um, so that it's much more open. But it's a but it's a three peaked cupola with a little top. It causes the plane of growth to extrude forth in three lobes, reaching up into the sky. Um, it also extrudes like ectoplasm through all the little holes and windows and everything of it. So it's almost like a big Play-Doh die. Um, uh, and and then it pops, and all of these tiny little green spirits begin just kind of dancing through the air, uh, illuminating the entire mountainside in a green glow. and from the bottom, the bottom at the Fey Grotto, where the Fey tree is, all the way down at the base of the mountain, a cloud of fairies comes forth in an answering twinkling lavender light, and the lavender and the green dance in these great fractal spirals in the sky. Um, and it's just it's glorious and beautiful, and you feel yourself renewed, and your runes begin glowing. The blue is kind of like has a tiny little bit of green mixing into it, so it changes a little bit of color. Um, the
I would say at this point, I would have Elspeth would have given me those tattoos. Uh, so I also got the tattoos as well as the ribs, just for
Okay, so
information.
yes, so
Yeah,
you would have started on the tattoos, probably at the previous at the previous dark part of the year festival, um, because that's the time
yeah.
that
Honestly, I think they would have started like the second they kind of like went through and be like, okay, here you're gonna be where I'm gonna be Emily. I'm a cousin. Like I think that's when it would have started. But I mean, she's got a whole sleeve on both arms, so it probably would have taken a
okay,
bit.
yeah, there's been plenty of time for that.
Mhm.
So so you're completely sleeved over the top of the runes then?
Not completely, very much like my thing. Hold up. Change video background. Blah, blah, blah,
Ah, yes, yes,
blah.
great. Yeah, so by that point
Once
you've
again,
got
my sweater is the same color as the chair, and it's confusing the background.
the the but yes, but yes, you've had plenty of time. You've had plenty of time to get any and all ink that you want done. It's because you know you've got being a sorcerer, you've got plenty of tenacity. So
Yeah, and if anybody asks, magical, the runes are magical tattoos. If anybody asks, even though they're not.
absolutely. So you've got the whole you've got the whole disguise going. Um,
Yeah, I think the tattoos themselves are very druidic and stuff that I've basically told Elspeth, whatever feels right to you, because I think, and then obviously the runes, the blue ones come very much from magic and sorcery and stuff like that. So now she's got them.
you notice that you notice that that every time before she begins tattooing you, that before she begins one of your tattooing sessions, she she gets out a little bit of powder and sprinkles it into her tea that she drinks, and her eyes glow subtly as she's tattooing. So she's imprinting magical tattoos into onto as she goes.
What
So
are those two?
uh, yes, what do they do?
Oh fuck.
Um, but you know, right now they're just decorative. Um, but it's because it's not complete yet. So you know, when it is complete, it will have you get a bonus power up. So, but it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
Because you know it takes time to and recovery to be able to do that. But she's one of your architects, and now she's going back and going back and adding
Give me
detail.
upgrades.
Yes, yeah. So
Here's your update.
exactly, hey, we've
Update
got
2.5.
exactly. So so but she's but you can kind of you can feel it, but as you but the recovery is so fast because under her hand, she can just kind of like heal as you go without but she can't heal it entirely because it'll ruin it, but because part of the tattoo is the recovery. So um and
I like the pain.
allowing the the ink to set. Oh, and yeah, so you got to allow the ink to set too. So she can't heal you immediately either. Uh, but she just puts on the salve. It's a several step process. Um, you notice that at one point Vishamus tells you, yeah, she hasn't tattooed anyone in years. It's something that she doesn't do often. Um, let's see. Um,
I feel like the shape or Elspeth, like during those sessions, I feel like we just have really long, mundane, insignificant talks. Like Billy is the complete opposite of who she was as a child. She just wants to hear every little thing about what Elspeth has to say because she was a dumb kid who thought her druid mom was a hippy
oh,
dippy.
she's absolutely a hippy dippy. I
No, but now I appreciate it because
because now you're like,
you
okay,
know,
well, maybe the hippy dippy isn't so bad.
well,
Um,
not even no, because I asked, because of the trauma.
trauma. Yes, yes, good,
Because
great.
Hippy Dippy Mom died before I could really get to know her and appreciate her. And it was really that one, for Seamus, the one thing she constantly remembers is like, I can only bargain for your safety. With Elspeth, the one thing she remembers is Elspeth's face, the face you made, which was freaking manipulative. Elspeth's face when she was surprised that I said, yeah, I'll come to the little druid thing, making Billy realize, oh my God, I never go to anything like that with her. And then that being the last time she ever saw her mom alive and unpossessed. That was, but yeah, that's the thing she thinks about a lot. Thanks.
You're welcome. My services as a DM are complete. Uh, so the last part of that one, actually, uh, was you're in you're at the festival of life, watching the green growth spirits spread out across the sky, and the fairies going up to dance with them. Uh, you see Villy and Samay are lying on blankets, looking like all the other people, looking up at the sky, and you've got one of each of them on either lying down on either side of you, and 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 Villy says to you, so all of those lights up there, those are all like they're all different universes, but they're all doing the same dance.
Yeah, really?
And Samay says, do you think there are that many of us out there? That many different versions of us out there?
But I mean, there's already three if you're looking at our faces.
Exactly. Wonder what would happen if we all got together at once. Billy says
I put
that
I put my hands out on either side to like take their hands.
they of course reach their hands over immediately.
I just do something. I just go like super powers.
It's become a trio thing with the three of you
Yeah.
that all three of you put your hands up like yay. So much so that you don't even have to hold each other's hands anymore. Whenever you can be seeing each other, like you happen to look over be at you happen to be at the temple, and you look over at the tree at the balcony, and Billy's standing out there. That both of you just go yay, like that from a mile of air between the two of you, but
I
still
feel like we
yay.
probably have special little things between each one of them. Like I feel like Billy, I don't know, maybe there was a silly moment where it was just like she can't wink or something. So now we do a thing where like I wink and then she tries badly to wink, but just ends up blinking and like say something silly or just like sticking my tongue out at her from across the room and always just like catching. I don't know.
Yes.
So silly. She
Yes.
she likes that they're kids, and you know, just kind of does kid things with them.
Absolutely.
I think.
And yeah, and it's I mean, and that's precisely what they are. I mean, it's like it. I mean, you know exactly what they like. All three of you like the same stuff, and it's like you have instant inside jokes with them.
Mm,
It seems like they both actually share experiences that I mean things that happen to you that you remember. Billy remembers as well. Um,
mhm.
you know, so it's not like I mean you had the exact same childhood as Billy, except for the fact that except for the fact that Samay made Billy's life different.
For sure. Yeah.
So, but many of the events growing up, like the ongoing, the the festival of
More
lights
like
every year,
town events and city events than
right,
family stuff.
right. Those things are familiar, and you take a lot of comfort in
But does Velly struggle with making friends or anything at all? Would I know? Or
them. Villy doesn't. Um, and she's a a normal kid. She's a relatively normal kid
yay.
in school. Um, has a little sister that she looks out for. Gets punked by the other kids a little bit, but also punks other kids. Um, so she's a typical kid.
Yay.
The life that Villicent never got to lead.
I don't think she would have wanted to either. It's just more of a adult hindsight kind of thing.
On the contrary, though, Villy does not seem to be as into books as you
How dare you? That's a lie. Take it back, though.
Oh, she reads if it's something that she's interested in.
No, is she
She
interested in?
doesn't just read because it's a book and it's there and I've got to read
Mhm.
something.
Yeah, but she also has a sister, and I didn't, so books were friends.
True, very true.
Yes.
Uh, so again,
And it was a way to get close to dad when he wasn't around.
right, a
Read all
difference,
his books.
a difference.
Yep.
Uh, so so the three of you have your moment out under the lights of the festival of life.
You know, I'm really glad I came this alive. And I'd say to them,
They say, "Yeah, we know."
you're too smart. And I give them both an elbow.
So uh, they they both hug you at the same time, and they're like, yeah, it was so boring before you got here, and now it's just so much better.
Really? What
Really?
do you mean so boring?
Well,
You had each other.
yeah, but that but we have you, but now there's three of us,
Yes, there are three of us.
and 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 you're older too, which means we can all do more stuff because you'll
Not
take it.
too much, though. Not too much, though. You know, when I was little, I was actually quite different than you guys. I was always just all I wanted to do is read books and stay in the library and
May is looking at you like, ooh, books and libraries, that's fun. And Billy's looking at you like, like
put
I
that
could.
face away right now. Do not offend my books. Put that face away.
Mm, mm,
Stop it. Don't you talk about my books again.
mm.
Don't break my heart.
She says, you have a book for me. There's a book you find interesting. Mhm. She says, "You have that spell book, right?" And Sumay's like, "Ooh, spell book."
Not yet. It's something that
She reaches up, and you can see her trying to form her hand into mage hand, but uh but she doesn't quite have it yet, and you can see her.
uh,
"Eee."
that's very cute, but no.
Billy, however, you can see that she's very much like standing straight, like hands down, like not doing anything,
What are you doing?
nothing,
What are you doing?
nothing.
Perception check.
Make a perception check. What's Villy's stealth? What's Villicent's stealth?
She ain't level 10.
Oh, that's true. I have Billy's level 3 here. I can I can check off. I can. Oh, that was first edition though. There wasn't stealth in first edition. I'd have to go just off of Dex.
I mean, it'd
So
just be honestly, my stealth hasn't improved, and it's not a proficiency, so she'd probably be +2 as well.
okay. Uh, yeah. So what'd you roll in perception?
Oh wait, perception. So she'd have a +2 perception. I have proficiency, I believe. Yeah. So I got a 19.
Mm. Yeah, she's hiding a notebook that she's sitting on.
Is it her notebook or mine?
It is hers.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, she knows better than to swipe your notebook.
Okay. What are you hiding?
Nothing.
I literally see the notebook under your butt.
Um,
Come on, what
she
are you writing?
she pulls it out and she says, "Writing spells,
Writing spells?
spells, different spells though." She re- and she and you and she holds it up, and it is the rune you see repeated behind me. Uh, it's the the it's a U with a curve with another curve inside it.
Have I ever seen that before?
Uh, it is a it's a rune of unity.
Okay.
Um, but also of scale. If you think about it, there's a big curve and a little curve. So it's a rune that magically means as above, so below.
Ooh. Do you know what this means?
She says it's the center rune of an abjuration spell. I think
What's one that you're making up or one that you saw?
one I'm making up.
You're making it up.
Hmm.
That's incredible. I've never done anything like that.
Mm. Well, this is what it does. And she reaches out with it, and is magically is powering into it, and you see a little circle beginning to form around her in burning blue flame,
That's amazing, Billy.
and the flame begins rising up around all three of you in a bubble. Roll an insight check.
Oh, that's wait, is that? Oh, that's an 18, and I've got good insight, I think. Yeah, that's a 23.
You've
Tell
seen
me
that
your secrets.
you've seen this before.
When?
Do you remember? Were you the You weren't there for the fire method. Nope, you
Okay,
weren't. But
okay.
uh, during the during before the purge, you remember seeing the demons. that were are the Kopru when they gated out and they left burning rings places.
Ooh, I don't remember that specifically
You
because
don't
I was
remember
too
that?
busy being
That may
traumatized
not
over
have been
my.
you because I've had lots of different players, and I'm not sure whether you were. You must have. But
I remember something with Cooper, but I was more. I remember almost everything that happened as far as the Seamus and Elspeth, everything, because
the,
that was like core Billy drama. But
right there was a Kopru that was discovered, uh, and and it was able to it was able to gate using a spell much like this.
I've seen that.
And after it gated out, all that was left was a burning ring after it.
I've seen this.
This was actually right after they let you out of the ring, was when you saw this. Although you did see it a bit around the you saw other creatures doing it during the purge.
Cool. Gonna roll for. Gonna call that 10. Anything? Sorry, rolling for PTSD.
Okay. Basically, what happens is it starts out as a ring, and then it grows into a sphere, and then when it charges up completely, it winks out in a just like a little spaghettified thing of light that just separates and go and has gated away. Um, basically, what it basically boils down to is you're creating a bubble and then shoving the bubble through space into an outer plane. And this is what she's like, I've never gotten it to work completely before. I'm not really sure what it does. And she's and and the sphere is almost completely formed around the three of you.
Can I uh, take her or take her hand or put my hand on her shoulder, whatever's the least invasive
Uh
thing
huh.
to do? Because I want to get. I feel like I want to apply that to. So I mean everything. Because I got a 23 on insight. I'm gonna say that the touching. I guess it. That's kind of how I'm seeing it.
Uh huh.
Um,
Well, you're shoulder to shoulder, so
okay, okay,
lying back on the ground.
but also just like trying to help her so that I can get the full image of what this kind of confirm what I'm thinking this is.
As you're looking into it, you're seeing weaves of all the different elements. All seven elements are woven into this ring, which then which is sped up into three rings. Then they're each spun at different speeds. One of the which syncs the one on the inside syncs up with you. The the one on the one between them is lubrication, and the one on the outside is made of space time, and then it's made to kind of pop you out into an outer plane. It pops you out of reality into another plane.
This is incredibly powerful, Billy.
She says, "I've almost got it," and you can see that the three bubbles are gaining pressure on each other,
So
and
wait,
in
are
another
we gonna pop into an outer plane if I let her complete this? Is that what you're saying?
in another round, it's gonna be complete.
Fucking dispel magic.
You're gonna dispel her.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to interrupt her, or do you want to like negate the weave?
Um,
Because
just
dispel magic is kind of like there's when magical energy is being formed, and then
yeah.
you ground it so that it zaps it out of existence.
Billy, it might be a little bit too much. Can you stop?
Perhaps I don't know if you can see that.
Fuck me. Oh wait, is that a good? I don't know if that's good or bad, depending on
She's
what she's trying.
she says she goes ah, and she grunts a little with the force of releasing it because it was just about to trigger.
Sorry for all that. I thought you were saying only the light was going into the upper plane, so that's why I didn't take it. I didn't realize it was us.
Yeah, and it was and you see it and you see the spell unravel around you, and she's like ah, and she lays back exhausted like I almost had it, and Sumay says I think I could do it,
Nope,
and
nope,
she
Smite,
lifts
nope,
up her
Smite,
hand.
Smite, 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 no, no. It's incredibly powerful and incredibly useful, incredibly brilliant, but not for right now, okay?
Sumay says I really like that rune. That's a really cool rune.
It is a
Maybe I
very cool room.
maybe I can get Elspeth to tattoo that on me.
When you're a little older, you've seen all of them, you know what's that
I
white.
look, you can do it, so I can do it, right? We're ba-
You can do absolutely anything when you're older.
she lies back. Uh, and that is it for the Festival of Life. Oh, wait a minute. There was a special appearance too, wasn't there?
There was.
There was. Uh, while you are while you are there, uh, you're uh, you look you happen to look over, and walking down the lane
Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Gotta write down my guess. Okay, go.
is Phaethra.
Yes!
Ha
I
ha
wrote
ha!
it.
You knew it. You knew it.
I think I'm just like in shock. Like, I don't say, I think I'm just like straight up in shock.
She's dressed differently than the Phaethra you knew. The Phaethra you knew had been had been uh had been wearing clothes that weren't really hers that she had picked up on the way because she had been shipwrecked and had found clothes on the way and had clothes given to her and changed clothes many times. So uh but this appears to be a Phaethra who has who is in full command of her abilities and is living her best life. She's dressed in a combination of furs and as well as woven fibers, and uh, and uh, has a massive cudgel hanging at her side.
I think there's a lot of emotions going on. Um, First of all, the idea of having to bring everybody together, um, knowing that that's coming eventually. Also knowing that here she is not Billy, she is Emily. Also knowing that she has seen different versions of people and knows that this Phaedra might not recognize her, might be a completely different Phaedra, and is just processing all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I also, any other person, I might wonder if they were dangerous or anything like that, but not Phaedra at all. And I guess I turn to Billy and I say, "You see that druid there?
Billy turns to look and says,
The dwarf?
the one with the halo crown.
Yes,
What about her?"
you sense that power.
Well,
You sense that power.
there's so many powerful druids around.
Yeah.
She does seem very powerful, though.
You do me an incredibly weird favor.
Say that again.
Could you do me an incredibly weird favor?
What's that?
I guess not. Could you go introduce yourself
Uh,
as the daughter of one of the high priestesses?
uh, okay. She gets up and and she walks over, and you see her cleverly produce a piece of fruit and offer it to her, which is one of the traditional greetings of someone who doesn't know. At the festival, people from Solaire are supposed to greet newcomers with with a a may you never hunger or may you never thirst.
Mhm.
Um,
And if I can, I'd like to roll an insight check just to confirm that this is a different favorite.
roll.
Damn it. That's a 8. Roll a
This
3.
does not appear to be the same fate. Does not appear to be the same faith that you knew. She stops, makes it has the same familiar smile that of the Phaethra that you remember, and crouches down and gives the same friendly attention
Mm.
that Phaethra gave to every person that you remember, who was allied to her, except accepts the piece of fruit from Villy, spits out one of the seeds into her hand, blows into it, and a little seedling sprouts from it that she gives to Villy.
Adorable. And
Villy comes dancing back to you.
yeah, we'll see how this 8 fares. I think once I see that, I mean, I wrote, yeah, thinking that I don't know if I'm correct, but Billy thinks that this Phaethra is a different Phaethra. That wouldn't recognize them, and I think so. I think she walks up with Semaine and just kind of does, similar greeting. Just hello, welcome to Soleil.
Looks at you and says, "Thank you. I have traveled far.
Really, from where?
I come from I, I come from the the forests to the far northeast, but not from here." You notice that she's wearing her hair long, and it covers her ears.
And she's a dwarf, right?
She was a human.
Oh, she was a human.
She says, "Yes, I I don't come from this world. I come from a completely different one, so to speak.
Quite
But
familiar.
I only have about a few more minutes to look around.
Come from a different world, you say?
Yes,
I've studied them
have you
at
really?
different worlds. Yes,
Perhaps you're
I'm
the one
sort of
I'm meant to come to seek."
perhaps. Perhaps we've met
She seems to she
in
turns
another time,
she
in
turns
another world.
to look over her left shoulder. She doesn't appear to be looking at anything in particular that you can see. Um, and she looks back and says uh, and says and says, "There's no other version of me there, is there? Have you seen me before?" "So there is a me there. There is a me." And she winks out of existence.
Favorite? I think I just stand there in shock for a minute. And I think not even kind of thinking about, like, just subconsciously, but Billy just kind of says, or just kind of says out loud, I knew that, sort of in front of Billy and Snake. And then I kind of catch myself.
From the dojo. Where do you know her
What,
from?
hard to explain. From before I met you.
Somebody says, another before story.
Yes,
Hmm. I can't wait to be old enough for you to tell me those stories.
I can't wait
And that is where we are going to end.
to.
'Not bad for 50 minutes for a quick vignette.